Hi, I'm Noel. Welcome to my garage. Today we're going to change the front wheel bearings on my 1996 BMW K1100RS. In order to do that, we're going to need to remove the front wheel, and in order to remove the front wheel, we're going to need to jack up the front of the bike. So we're going to borrow the jack from my Toyota Prius. We're going to have to take off the engine cover, jack up the bike, and take the front wheel off. Let's do that now. So now it's time to put the wheel up on the workbench so we can work on it. Now you'll notice that I've put down two 2x4s, and the reason for that is we're going to let the tire rest on the 2x4s so that we don't put any weight on the disc rotor. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this circlip, and I don't necessarily have the right tool for it, but I do have a little pair of thin nose pliers that will kind of work for it. Okay, there it's out. Wasn't the prettiest thing you've ever seen, but some things in life are just not pretty. So now we're going to flip it over. Now down inside this thing there's a spacer, and on either end of the spacer are little aluminum washer kind of things that you can actually crush out of the way by applying a little force, just enough so you can get a purchase on the inner race of the bearing on the other side. So looks like we've done that. Now I just need to go get the persuader. This is the point in the video where you should be watching me successfully apply the techniques that I've read about in several online articles and on online forum posts, where I use a lever of some sort to deform the aluminum, one of the aluminum washers around the spacer that goes between the two bearings on this wheel. That's what you should be watching, but unfortunately it didn't work out. It didn't work for me. I tried real hard, I tried over and over, and then I gave my brother a call. My brother's a professional mechanic, and I told him I was having difficulty, and he says, well, bring the wheel over and we'll see what we can do. We attempted to use the same technique that we had read about, deforming the washers on the spacer, and we couldn't get enough room, we couldn't move the spacer over enough to get a decent purchase on the inner race with a drift to pop the bearing out. So what we ended up doing was kind of mangling or destroying the right bearing. We removed the ball cages from the ball bearings, and then we're able to maneuver the balls around and actually move the inner race out from center so that we could then get a purchase on it from the other side and knock it out. At that point it came out rather easily. Once the right bearing was out, we could remove the spacer, and we had plenty of room to get a drift on the left bearing and knock it out quickly. Unfortunately, when I moved my wheel over to my brother's shop, I didn't move my cameras to my brother's shop, so you don't get to watch any of this. You just have to listen to me tell you about it. Once we had the old bearings out and we had meticulously cleaned the hub where the bearings were seated, I just decided that it made the most sense to go ahead and reseat the new bearings, or seat the new bearings while I had all of the proper tools at my disposal that my brother had in his shop. So that has brought us to this point, and I'm going to give you a quick look at the wheel with the new bearings installed, and then we have nothing left to do but to put the wheel back on the bike. This is the right side of the wheel. Let's go ahead and flip it over and then take a look at the left bearing. And we're ready to reinstall. One final note on installing the bearings. Be very careful not to apply any pressure to the inner race while you are pushing the bearings in or seating the bearings. That can cause permanent damage to the bearings, and you're going to end up having to buy another set of bearings. Make sure only to apply pressure to the outer race when you're seating the bearings. This will ensure that the bearings are not damaged and will last you a good long time. I hope you've enjoyed this video, that you've learned a little something. If you like it, please like my video. And if you want to see what else I've got, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.